September 26th, 2020, Circle of Life and Little Voice of the Universe. Not being fluent in Zulu, I didn't understand the opening lines of The Circle of Life, which is the song from The Lion King that we are dancing the samba to this week. Nance Inganyama Bagithi Baba, here is the lion. Sithi Inganyama, the future king. All right, I'm not going to sing the Zulu. Here is the lion, the future king, lion. We are going to conquer, lion. The lion wears the leopard spots as a symbol of royalty. And then it goes into, from the day we arrive on the planet and blinking step into the sun, there is more to see than can ever be seen, more to do than can ever be done. There is far too much to take in here, more to find than can ever be found. But the sun rolling high through the sapphire sky keeps great and small on the endless round. It's the circle of life, and it moves us all, through despair and hope, through faith and love, till we find our place on the path unwinding in the circle of life. Pasha used cat-like moves in the choreography that any cat lover would recognize and appreciate. Some Pasha renamed for me to make them easier to remember, like the whisk becoming the whiskers, from the opening moves of turning away and then a paw over the ear the way cats will bathe to show that they are at peace with those around them, to the prancing cat walking straight into the camera, to the sweeping turns of cats in play, to chasing their tails, to standing up and patting playfully at each other with outstretched paws. The whole routine felt fabulously feline. I loved the choreography and the choice of dance for this number that Pasha created, because it reminds us that life is a celebration of that eternal path we are on. Even though we face great challenges and pain at losing those we love, it's just a step in the celestial dance. With the very next turn, we live and love again, and have the opportunity to express ourselves. Life is forever, and to live it fully, we need to remember that we are all on a path to greater understanding. Outside of the application to the human spirit, I love that this song and dance also recognized that all creatures, great and small, are dancing their own eternal choreography. They should be free to choose their own mates, raise their own young, and drink in all that living free has to offer. One of the hardest things of operating a sanctuary for big cats is to provide them with some relief to the mind-crushing boredom of being held hostage. There is no cage and no enrichment large enough or complex enough to stimulate the senses of animals who can travel many, many miles per night. It's illegal to release a captive-born big cat, and they couldn't survive since they were raised by people and not their mothers, but that doesn't deter them from yearning for that freedom. I feel fortunate to live in a place and time where humanity is starting to realize this. We've come on the winding path this far, so how many more times will the sun rise in a sapphire sky before we declare the end to captive breeding of wild cats? Always listen to that little voice. My route to the CBS studios goes down Beverly Boulevard past the Wilshire Country Club, where there is a blind curve. There is a sidewalk, but the hedge there reaches right to the side of it and puts pedestrians very close to the curb. From the first time I drove it, that little voice said, "Watch out, something very bad could happen here." Seemed like a message from Captain Obvious, so I kept shutting it down, but I've driven that stretch 2 or 3 times a week over the past 3 weeks, and the voice just keeps screaming at me. Today, as I approached the curve, the voice was stronger than ever, so even though traffic was moving fast with me, as I was in front from the previous light, I still slowed way back, and right there in the middle of my lane was a boy of about 10 years old, struggling to regain control of his bike and get off the road. I was able to stop in time to let him get out of harm's way, which stopped the traffic behind me. But had I not gone into that turn with the expectation of stopping, I fear I would have run him over. Or, if I was able to stop my car in time, would surely have caused a pileup. I love that little voice and really should listen to it more. If you're enjoying my diary, please like, share, and subscribe. You can find other ways to connect to me over at bigcatrescue.org/Carole.Baskin.